It was supposed to be the king of good times, but in the sky, a true symbol of Indian luxury and ambition. So, how on earth did it become one of the country's most spectacular corporate failures? Well, this is the story of the rise and the epic fall of Kingfisher Airlines.
And this guy? This was the man with the vision, Vijay Mallya. He was already famous for his super lavish lifestyle, and he wanted to completely revolutionize air travel in India. His goal wasn't just, getting people from point A to point B. No, he wanted to make the journey itself this unforgettable, luxurious experience.
Right, so that's the big question, isn't it? How did a brand that passengers absolutely loved with such a bold vision end up completely grounded? Let's dive in and break down how it all went so wrong, starting from the very beginning. Okay, so let's rewind to 2005. Now, this was a time when pretty much every other airline was trying to cut costs. But Kingfisher? They launched with a promise to do the exact opposite. And this right here gets to the heart of what made them so different. Kingfisher wasn't just an airline. It was a whole premium experience. I mean, just picture it. You're flying with free gourmet meals, you've got personal entertainment screens, and the staff are in these iconic, stylish red uniforms. Passengers absolutely loved it. And for a while, it really looked like Malia's vision was a massive runaway success. But, and there's always a but, underneath all of that glamour and the five-star service, the financial reality was telling a completely different and much scarier story. This slide just captures the problem perfectly. It's like an iceberg, right? What you saw above the water was the public view, this premium, beloved airline. But below the surface, the reality was grim. All that luxury came with incredibly high costs, and in a price-sensitive market like India, they just couldn't charge high enough ticket prices to cover it all. And here it is in plain numbers. Just look at that imbalance. The operational costs were basically swallowing the revenue whole. The money going out was way, way greater than the money coming in. This wasn't just unsustainable, it was a financial time bomb just ticking away. So, with the finances already stretched super thin, Kingfisher then made a decision that would confuse pretty much everyone and ultimately just pour gasoline on the fire. This became the million-dollar question. In 2007, Kingfisher, the brand that was built entirely on being premium, made a move that went against its entire identity. It bought a low-cost, no-frills airline called Air Deccan. And this move was a disaster on so many levels. First, it just created massive confusion. Were you flying a luxury airline or a budget one? Nobody really knew anymore. And second, and this is even more important, it piled on a mountain of new debt and made things way more complicated. They were now trying to run two completely opposite business models, all under one roof. So after that really confusing gamble, the financial cracks that had been forming for years just burst wide open. And that led to a really rapid and very, very public collapse. This timeline just shows you how quickly it all fell apart. It all starts with that big, ambitious launch in 2005. Then comes that fateful acquisition in 2007, which adds all the debt. By 2011, the company is in an absolute freefall. We're talking delayed salaries, canceled flights, and then, just 1 year later, in 2012, it's all over, gone. Just 7 years from launch to shutdown. And these were the real-world consequences. It wasn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. The company was drowning in bank loans, sure, but the crisis also hit the employees, who just stopped getting paid, and the customers, who were stuck with endless cancellations. The trust and the glamour that the entire brand was built on had completely evaporated. So what's the ultimate lesson here? What can we take away from this story of a dream that really did fly way too close to the sun? And this is the core of it all, right here. The vision was bold, you could even say it was admirable. But a vision, no matter how grand it is pretty much worthless if the basic economics just don't add up. The ambition was there, for sure, but the financial foundation, it just wasn't. The one thing that was fatally missing was simple, financial discipline. It's the unglamorous, kind of boring, but absolutely essential practice of making sure your costs don't outrun your revenue. Kingfisher Airlines is a powerful and kind of painful case study in what happens when you ignore that fundamental rule of business. And that leaves us with this final thought. The line between being a visionary leader and being a reckless gambler can be incredibly thin. The story of Kingfisher Airlines really forces us to ask where that line is. And it reminds all of us that even the most beautiful dreams have to be built on solid ground.